Hi everyone, my name is Zsuzsanna. Welcome to today's WHTT Masterclass about mindful sales. My name is Zsuzsanna and I'm really glad that you found time to dial in today. It's probably the only useful thing you can do nowadays, joining some webinars and making sure you can learn some new stuff so you can get prepared out of the crisis and start your sales again. First of all, let me introduce myself. I used to work in hotels. I started in 97. Yes, that picture is a little bit older than that, but I was a girl mostly in revenue management. So I was dealing a lot with numbers. And 8 years ago, it happened accidentally that I started sales for SiteMinders. So I never actually work in sales because I thought, salespeople are only having coffees from time to time and nice chats. But I realized this is actually really, really tough work. So I spent the last 8 years to educate myself and do some trainings and certifications for trainer and sales coach to make sure that I can be successful in selling. So that helped me a lot, becoming much more comfortable, much more confident also in terms of selling because I was a really, really shy girl. And today I'm actually very proud I can show this session to you. So let's have a look on the agenda, what we are talking about today. Mindful sales, how to convince everyone. I know it is a very strong title, but you will later on understand why I'm making the statement exactly the way I'm doing it. So today you can expect answers on the following questions. First of all, why are some sellers more successful than others? Yeah, we all know this. There is a lot of competition in sales teams. So one is making 20 deals and the other one only two. But why? So we will dive deeper into that topic. So we explain and so you can explain later on what is missing to be more successful or as successful as your colleagues are. Then the second question, should we sell a fridge to an Eskimo? My first thought is maybe not, it's very cold. But yeah, we get to it at a later stage. Then the third one, how to get the right mindset to be a successful salesperson. So I hope that every one of you can later on, take some tips and tricks back and apply those instantly after the call so that you can really ramp up your sales pipeline after the corona crisis. Actually, what I need to say as well is it doesn't really matter what product or service you're offering. So these tips you're getting today actually work for any kind of product or service. Great. So let's get started. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free, use the chat box. You can always type the question in. Unfortunately, I can't see it instantly. So what we are going to do is that we are going to answer the question at the end of the session. Perfect. Let's start with point one. First question, why are some salespeople more successful than others? First of all, they have more experience. They have more marketing support. They have the better product or service. And they have the better value. Well, maybe. Maybe they do, but stop making excuses. Think about yourself and think about the person sitting in front of you when you're selling. So let's see what questions we need to ask ourselves in order to find out how we can be more successful. First of all, I would like you to ask some questions to yourself to really analyze where you're standing today. So let's start with the first one. What do I like most about being a salesperson? You don't have to answer it now. You can watch the video anytime at a later stage. And then, of course, sit down and write down the answers. Really think about it. Secondly, why am I working in sales? And I mean, really, if you're doing it for the money, that's fine. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But just, stand to it. Third one, which tasks are my favorite tasks? What do you like doing most? Where are you especially good at? It's always easier to do something you really, really like. Then fourth one, which of my talents are important for sales? So how can you adapt your favorite tasks and your talents and introduce that into your sales pitch? Number 5, which new skills do I need to be more successful? Very often, when we are asking ourselves questions like that, we will realize that, well, maybe I need to get a bit more training. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to review my competitors, whatever. Yeah. But sometimes you will realize you are missing some resources, which you can obviously, top up with some training or know-how. And then last but not least, what are my most important values? This is a really tough question, and it's an important question. Once you have answered all those questions, you will realize a lot that your success is depending on your mindset. And we all know these people. Some people, they're really, really strong. They have a lot of know-how. They know how they do their stuff, but they can't sell because they see themselves as a cute cat, right? Then there are other people. They maybe don't know that much. They're not as strong, but they believe in themselves. So what happens? They see the lion in the mirror. They don't see the cute cat. So it really depends on your own thought whether you are seen as a cute cat or you are seen as a lion. So the only person influencing that is yourself. And that is the first very important point I want to give you today. Now, let's dig a little bit deeper. How can we do this? Let's look at the state of mind. I love this comic from Peanuts because that explains really, really well how our emotions and body work together. This is my depressed stance. Okay, so guys looking down, right? The shoulders are hanging low. When you're depressed, it makes a lot of difference how you stand. So how could it be that our body is influencing our emotions? The worst thing you can do is straighten up and hold your head high, because then you start to feel better. If you're going to get any joy out of being depressed, you've got to stand like this. And this is so powerful. Your body and soul and emotion and thoughts, they all belong together. So if your emotions are difficult right now, just pretend you're feeling well and stand up great, because your body don't know the difference. So let's go ahead and see how we can actually be more mindful. Mindfulness is extremely important because very often we are just running around like a robot. We don't see left, we don't see right. We are just having our focus on what we want to do or achieve or see or listen to. So it's very, very important to be mindful, first of all, of your values. Your values should be reflecting the values of your company, for example, depending what you're selling. It is very important that your values match the ones from your company. So if you want to do something good and that's one of your values, embrace it. Also think about your beliefs. Beliefs are extremely important. If you believe I'm not good enough, the product of my competitor is better, the guy doesn't like me, whatever it is, you will reflect that with your body if you want it or not. That's all happening automatically in your consciousness. Then your thoughts, very important, your thoughts. When you go into a sales meeting, make sure your thoughts are positive. If you're nervous, if you're insecure, your opposite sparring partner will feel that immediately. You can't hide it because your body reflects that. Also, very, very important in sales is to be mindful of your communication style. If you're in sales, you want to be listening more than you speak. So make sure you're asking open questions. Make sure you are empathic enough. And you listen and also understand. If you're not clear about what the person is telling you, just go and say, what exactly do you mean by saying that? So it makes it much more easy to find later on the most important points for the customer and also shows great interest. But also in terms of communication style, take care of your inner conflicts, your inner communication, any strong emotions you might be feeling. Yeah, maybe you had a tough objection from the guy you want to say something to. That's fine. Just breathe in and try to, to chill a little bit again. Yeah, but realize them. Realize when it happens, why it happens. Yeah, and find a solution for that. Last but not least, your health. Really, really important. Of course, when you're going into a meeting, you expect your opposite person to be fit, right? To be aware, to be fit, to be, focused. And all your clients should be expecting that from you as well. And they would. The goal is really, if your thoughts, communication, and body language are 100% congruent, you will convince everyone. And it really works. Of course, today in this class, I can't give you all the little tricks and hints how we can achieve that, but later on, at least I can give you a few points on how you can be more mindful and how to embrace really what your talents are and what your skills are, and your character, of course. So let's ask this question. Should we sell an Eskimo a refrigerator? Good question. My first thought would be no way, it's really cold. They don't need that. They just need to put this outside. But let's park this question just for a little bit longer to see, first of all, why people buy things in general. We need to understand why people are interested so we can understand what triggers them, which emotion would trigger them. Let's look at some points here. First of all, people want to buy things because of profit. Either they want to make money, or they want to save money, or they want to save time, which is equal to saving money. Second point, also very important, security. Think about health insurances. Yeah, so you want to minimize risks, you want to have a peace of mind. Yeah, or maybe the alarm system of the house. Yeah, it's also based on the need of security. Comfort. Oh, we all like comfort. We buy a lot just because of convenience or because of sense of beauty. It has to be that certain handbag. Yeah, it has to be that sofa. Reputation, also a very big point. Pride, it has to be a certain car, or peer pressure, it has to be a certain kind of sneaker. Yeah, there is a lot, especially with younger people who feel that peer pressure as well in school, for example. Yeah, enjoyment, for pleasure. Of course, we just buy things or buy experiences for pleasure. And of course, we want to be we want to make gifts to others. So generosity is very important as well. Yeah, we like making other people happy. So therefore we buy gifts. So in short, we buy either to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And there was only those 2 points, very important. For example, if I'm selling software, I used to be in software sales now for 8 years. Of course, most of the time, the reason to establish software is profit, because it gives us something. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter if you're selling B2B or B2C. Those points are always the same, and we always buy for emotional reasons, whether we like it or not. Now, we've asked a few questions about yourself already. Of course, when we are in sales, we also need to look at the product or the service we are offering. So also here, let's ask some questions. Please sit down after this masterclass and just answer the questions for your own product or service. First of all, what problems do I solve? I mean, do you really solve problems? Which problems do you solve? Or which emotion are you targeting? Yeah, if you sell something, some beauty stuff, yeah, which emotion would you like to target? Is there a real demand for it? What I mean with real demand is do your homework, really have a look. How many competitors do you have in the market? What is the sales life cycle? Like how long will that product be up and running and be in trend? Just think about iPhones, for example. Every time they bring out a new version of the iPhone, the old one is redundant. Yeah, so what Apple does really, really well is they bring out constantly new products. They make people buy the same things over and over again. Not because the other phone didn't work anymore. No, because it's reputation to have the newest iPhone you can get. Another really, really important point is how does the quality compares to others? If you're selling something, whether it's a product or service, doesn't matter. Try to be the best in the market. If you don't have the motivation to be the best in the market, you may not have the right product or you may not have the right mindset. Yeah, if you don't want to be the best one, then do something else. Of course, if you're working in a big company, you have maybe a big software company, a big hotel chain, whatever, you can't make all decisions for yourself. That's clear. But at least you can highlight what is needed to be more successful. Then, what is my target market? Target market geographically, but also in terms of personas. Is my target market indeed big enough to create a high volume sales? Is my business scalable? Yeah, for example, me as a consultant, I only have 8 hours a day to sell. If I'm fully booked, I'm fully booked. That's fine. Yeah, but for example, I could also do just like video trainings and sell video trainings. So try to find a solution on how you can make your business scalable and how you can also, find some ancillary revenue. Maybe if you're selling, I don't know, one product, they might be interested in another add-on product. For example, if I'm selling software, I might be selling project management as well, which I'm actually doing. Yeah, that increases your lifetime circle as well. And very, very important, am I providing value for money? And it's not about your opinion, it's about the opinion of your potential customers, of course. Yeah, so really dive deep, have a look, what value are your competitors providing? And provide more. Only then people will really realize why they should buy your product instead of the competitor product. Now, when we're speaking about selling is a long-term game. There are some products in the markets you can sell like nothing. Like very quickly in the supermarket, everyone needs water. Is there a real demand for it? Yes, there is a lot of demand for water. This is why we have so many different brands selling water. Yeah, but most of them just do it regionally. But for example, if I'm selling software, if I'm selling hotel rooms, if I'm selling any higher priced or more complex product, I have to make sure I understand the different stages of selling. You need to plan the time you need ahead to spend with your customer as well. Let's see how that works. First of all, build an honest relationship. Don't try, to be someone else. Be authentic, be yourself, find your own identity and build an honest relationship. If you make compliments, fine. Don't say it if you don't mean it 100%. Your opposite person will realize it instantly. Yeah, so be honest, be straightforward, and I promise you, people really, really appreciate that. Then, secondly, Don't start selling right now. First of all, spark interest, plant the seeds. Yeah, that could be a few follow-up calls. It could be a meeting. It could be some case studies you're sending, whatever you have to increase that current interest. And be mindful of the signs you're getting from your potential client. You will realize and you will feel whether there is interest or not. And if you're not sure, just ask straightforward. If I would give you that XYZ functionality or XYZ product or XYZ service, and you would make more revenue with it, would you buy it? Yes, no. Yeah, really take your time to get the person also to focus on your product and get to know your product and get to know yourself also, because we are buying a lot because of trust. And trust is extremely important, simply because there have been a lot of salespeople out there who've been selling stuff which really wasn't useful. So it harmed everyone. And trust is extremely important in sales because a lot depends on the product you're selling. Then the next step, analyze if the product really fits together with your client. Ask all your questions you prepared. See if from the revenue point of view, from the budget point of view, there is a fit. Yeah, don't try to sell a hotel with 5 rooms, for example, a massively big central reservation system. They don't need it. Yeah, and they will be disappointed later on. The thing is, you always meet people twice in life. So make sure that you are selling with a lot of moral and high ethical standards. If you feel that customer really doesn't need it, he doesn't need another 22 insurances maybe, don't do it. Really don't, because you're just harming your own reputation at the end. Then once you have done the analysis and you realize both, hey, that could be a win-win for both yourself and the potential buyer, then create a beautiful proposal. If you can, make an individual proposal. Repeat all the things you have been discussing with the client. Yeah, make sure he understands we are offering this XYZ because we spoke about your need to increase volume on your website or whatever. Yeah, make sure you're really detailing it out, and at the end of the presentation, provide proof and references. Yeah, it's really important. Some people need external feedback. Some people just make decisions by themselves because they think it feels good. But a lot of people are also looking at external references. So make sure you add some case studies or some testimonials from your current clients. If you have an online business, you can also do the same thing, right? So you just need to display it a little bit different, but even then you can provide proof and references. Once you are presenting this proposal, ideally if you can face-to-face, get ready for objections. And I would recommend to you, make a list with all your objections and write down your best answers on those and practice them. Because if you get an objection and you're surprised by it, you won't be thinking of the right answer straight away because you're like, oh, I never had that before. But if you prepared yourself and you practice these objections and how to tackle them, then you will be much more comfortable. And it would also be very nice to see for your client that you are prepared for those questions. So make a list with all the objections you are facing every day. Too expensive. I have no time. The other one has XYZ. The other one is only half price. Yes, maybe, but maybe they have only the half amount of functionality. Yeah. So really make a list, write it down, and practice all your objections. It's very good if you're doing cold calling, for example. You get objections right at the beginning. Because some people will say, oh no, not another sales call. Yeah, try to find an entry to spark the interest again. I mean, try to keep them on the phone, because especially selling on the phone is very tough because people are not as polite as they would be when you're seeing them face to face. Yeah, have a strategy in place. That's really important. Have a strategy in place and be prepared for whatever comes. Now, I'm going to ask again the question, should we sell an Eskimo a refrigerator? Yes, we should, but only if it makes sense to them. Let's look at the situation. In Alaska, we have temperatures between minus 40 degrees Celsius and plus 20 degrees Celsius. So even butter is melting at 20 degrees Celsius. Some food needs to be stored in a fridge with a constant temperature so it doesn't go bad. So yes, if it helps to keep the food fresh, sell a fridge to an Eskimo. No problem at all. Important is that you are standing behind yourself, behind your company, and behind your product, and that you do the analysis. So don't just assume someone would buy or maybe not buy. Just ask them straight away. And then you will see people will answer very honestly, and you're getting closer to closing this deal. So let's have a quick look on how to get the right mindset to be a successful salesperson. So first of all, believe in yourself and in your good intention to help your customer. If you're not selling to help your customer, you will have a tough sales call. Yeah, if you really, really want to help your customer, they will need it. You have to go the extra mile for them. You have to go beyond what they expect from you. But then still, it sometimes happens, no. Never take a no for personal. That was probably the toughest part for me at the very beginning when I started in sales and I was doing cold calling from home. Yeah, it really freaked me out hearing no's, and I was doubting myself. But no only means yes, but not now. It has nothing to do with yourself as a person. Not everyone likes the same things. That's fine. Be polite. Thank you for your time. No problem at all. Would it be okay if I contact you again in 6 months, in 12 months' time? Whatever. And move on to the next one. If you don't feel strong that day, we all have these days. We're in a bad mood. The weather is crap. We can't go out because of coronavirus. It's all very concerning. Just pretend you're feeling great because your body and emotions will follow. I will be giving you a few more tips later on some techniques you can use to do this. But just pretend as if you're doing great. It will work. And after a few minutes, you can't be in a bad mood anymore. Prepare yourself before any meeting or call. Obviously, that's given. But I'm just saying it. Don't just prepare, your proposal, but also prepare yourself mentally. What do you want to achieve in that particular meeting or in that call? Yeah, is it just, bringing the pipeline a little bit further? Or is it your analysis? Make sure you have clear goals on what to achieve in that particular meeting and stick to them. Learn and practice how to handle objections. That's for me the most important part. The second you seem to get insecure opposite your client, you lost the business for sure. Yeah, so be confident enough, learn how to react and laugh, smile. Laughing is always great in meetings. Yeah, because it loosens up everyone and makes everything so much easier for both sides. And then one last point, convince your customers instead of persuading them. I said it before, but they should be speaking most of the time, right? Convince them with good arguments on why they should buy your service or your product. Well, time is very short. I hope I was able to give you a few tips and a few things to think about. But let me summarize a few takeaways for you. First of all, be conscious about your state all the time, not just in business, in private life, even more important. Be conscious about how you feel, why you feel like this, and what you could do to change that. Form a unity between spoken words, your body language, your thoughts, and your emotions. If you're saying, I'm feeling great, but you're looking like this, no one will believe you. Yeah, so make sure you're congruent 100%. If you're not congruent 100%, you need to find out why. Maybe there is an inner conflict. Maybe you don't think the product is really good. Maybe you're not fully in agreement on how your company is doing things. It's important to think about it. Aim to be the best salesperson you can be every day. You're not losing any business, you're only learning. You are learning for the next deal, and see it like that. Analyze if you lost business. Why did you lose? Could I have done something else? And then try it next time. Sell for the right reasons. Don't sell bullshit. Don't rip off your clients. Yeah, if you are selling because of your good intention to help, to make something more convenient, to make something faster, your opposite will realize that instantly. Solve real problems. If there are already 100 products in the market, it may not make sense to bring another one on the market. Try to think about the real problems your customers are experiencing today. Also think about what future problems could they have, and how could you prepare to help them solving the problems of the future. Provide real value. Value is very, very important. You know, if we just deliver what was in the contract, it's okay, you know, but it's not really great. Give them something for free from time to time. Help them getting their team educated, for example, if you're selling software stuff. Just provide some additional value so the client will stick to you in long term also. And if you're having good value, but in some parts you're maybe not as good as your competitors are, that's fine. They will forgive you because the value you provided overall is much bigger than that one functionality. Aim to be or to have or to sell the best product in the market. If you're not motivated to be one of the best, it's very, very difficult to become a really good salesperson. Carefully listen to your clients, always. And even after a meeting, if you're thinking about something, just follow up the client and ask him again, hey, look, we spoke about XYZ. I have a few more questions now. Could we spend another 5 minutes on the phone? They will really, really appreciate it because they understand that you are thinking of solutions for the client. And to be able to do that, you really need to understand the full requirements. Follow the different stages of selling. Don't try to close a deal too early, but also don't let too much time go by between the relationship building, the planting the seeds and the analysis, for example. Yeah, so try to find the best time frame for your product or your service on how to schedule the follow-ups. Lastly, always believe in what you do. And there is only one answer. If you don't believe what you do, please do something else. It's perfectly fine. It was a big, big step for me going from revenue management in hotels to software sales and software consulting, and then to finally found my own consulting company. And I realized along that way, hey, I need more skills. Selling was my problem. I didn't really know how to sell and what to take care of. So once you identify a gap, You can work on it. Take a consultant, take some coaching lessons. Neurolinguistic selling is a great tool, for example, to learn how your communication works, how you can better convince other people, and how you also can have more fun. It's actually fun, selling. And I would really wish that every salesperson can fully stand behind their product and company, because then selling would be much easier. And in general, salespeople wouldn't be seen as bad in society. So make sure you're always selling in a very ethical way. Stay strong, happy selling, and please stay connected also. If you have any question, you can either contact Rita, for example, from Women in Hospitality Travel Tech, or you can contact myself via LinkedIn, via the website, or simply send me an email. I hope you enjoyed this class. Let me just have a quick look if I see any live questions. No, doesn't seem to be for now. So thank you very much for your time. Please stay safe, stay healthy. This crisis is getting over, I'm sure, sooner or later. And if you like, you can join also next week. There will be a WHTT Masterclass about sustainability. So hope to see you there. Bye-bye.